All right. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good to have you here at Paul Training. Going to dive into today's internet inspired, seeing what's going on in the World Wide Web, as it's called, the Interwebs, and see what's happening out there. And we're going to create and do our own little fun riff on it today. So thank you so much for joining me, Michelle, Patricia, Stoney in the house. Awesome. Feel free to say hello. I see you saying hello. Yeah, Emmanuel, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll dive on into this. Feel free to keep the conversation going, though. I'll be keeping an eye on chat as well. Hello, Marc-Andre. All right, here we are. This is the internet-inspired tweet. I saw this video on TikTok, and it's for character design. So instead of flipping the canvas, this guy draws in symmetry mode and will draw on the left or right side of the screen as needed. And it's fun and takes zero effort. So this is from Simone. So, you know, could you draw in symmetry mode, right? If you're creating something symmetrical. Sounds like a great idea. And we're going to go ahead and do that in Illustrator. And we're also going to take it to the next level because there's some fun things I have planned. So I'm so thankful you guys are here. Let's jump into good old Illustrator, as you can see right here, and we'll get this party started. All right, we'll keep this pretty simple, just so you know. Hello, Tiago. Hello. Victor from South Africa. Good to see you again as well. So I'll just make sure I'm on my own nice little layer, and I'm just going to start drawing. I'll just hit N for pencil. I could do this on my iPad, by the way, Illustrator. On my iPad as well, but let's just kind of draw out, and I'm going to create something that we're kind of known for being symmetrical, but we're going to have some fun with it. Shoop, shoop. There we go. Yeah, super easy. We'll just create a fun little like butterfly wing. Sometimes you'll overshoot things like this. Do you guys ever do this? And you could always join them by hitting Command J, right? So if you ever have two lines like that, Command J, bam, joined, done, right? So we'll take a look right now. So yeah, this is cool. So I just drew on one side, right? I can continue to draw this wing, but what I want to do is I want to go ahead and use symmetry. So with this selected, I'll go up to Object. I'll go down to Repeat and Mirror. That's what I mean when I say symmetry. This mirror mode. Shabam, there we are. Sure enough, I'm given this line that I could also change over here, the degrees, right? The mirror axes, if you will. So I'll just grab that and you can kind of see what it does, right? Pretty straightforward, right? If you kick it out like that, just jump over here, hit 90, and we're back in it to win it. So let's kind of continue to draw, kind of using this symmetry mode, which I think is pretty fun. Hello, Anu from Finland. Awesome. So again, we'll hit N for pencil. Maybe we'll do like a big nebulous, you know. I love this because it's like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just creating these fun like organic shapes for the wing that I'm then gonna color. So again, right here, this happens all the time, right? Like that. We can always cut those or join them however you want. Command J. There we are. In fact, you know what? Let's hit the minus button and we're back out. So we can kind of clean that up. We could see it kind of working on both sides, which is really fun to work this way, right? We'll hit N again. Zhup, zhup. Draw out another fun shape, and let's fill all this in. Again, I have the pencil set to smooth, so it makes these nice little smooth spheres. So if I double click on the pencil tool, you can see it's not set to perfectly smooth because I still want some control, but I have it like right there. All right, Bilal from Pakistan, good to see you as well. Awesome. So this is really fun. I can come in, manipulate this sort of any way I want, right? Reshape this. Maybe smooth this out a little bit more. Smooth it out. Nice and smooth right there, as you can tell. And I'll start throwing some color in here as well, okay, since we kind of have this shaped the way we want. But I'm going to actually add some 3D to this as well. So this is going to be a blast. Let's go back out here. Yeah, let's throw in. Let's do this for these. You ready for these? I'm going to select these 5 shapes. And I want them to all kind of transition from one color to the next. So right over here, I'm just going to select, say, for instance, I don't know, this one. Or maybe this one. But here I can just give it a nice gradient from one to the next, that nice transition. I just think that looks better, right? I think that'd be great even for these. Let's select this. Let's throw a gradient in there, like so. And we're making dreams come true. Assuming your dream is to make a butterfly. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Faisal as well. Hello, Faisal. We'll do the same thing here. Again, just makes it so easy that I can kind of just jump in, throw that in there like that, have the gradient roll like so. We'll change this. Maybe to black, but maybe to like a brown or a gray. Because I want to show you what I want to do next. I'm going to show you this. So again, there we are. We have this kind of squared away. Again, ultimately, it's going to be better in black. I can make it in black. But I wanted to make this, I wanted to take this to the next level, right? So we're drawing in, actually, you know what? Let's just draw, let's hit N for pencil. Draw out a line. I probably want to have like different little lines kind of cutting through here, by the way. So that's what I'm going to do really fast, like that. So again, you know, just adding some more like decorative lines. I don't know, just something kind of fun. I don't know. I should have probably referenced some butterflies. You know, does it look like that? Maybe not up there, but anyway. Cool, cool, cool. Drawing in symmetry mode. Now this is what I want to do for this. I was going to make this gray, but it's probably better off black. This looks better. Let me do a little bit more with this. Again, just tweaking this. Because I want to give this an angle. So check this out. You ready for this? Shadi, I'm going to select all of this content right here. We are going to group it. So object group. And then we're going to go to our 3D and materials panel. Because I want to actually have this at an angle. And I could skew it and stuff like that, but I'd rather actually use 3D. So let's actually jump in here. Again, I go back and forth between sort of giving this a color or not, but I want to show you the 3D. So I'm going to have to make this lighter like that. Okay. Wait for it. Let's bring this in. Bring it in. Bring it in. Okay. So taking this whole group, double clicking, I'm on inside of it. Now I'm going to extrude it using the 3D and materials panel. So I went ahead and extruded it, did something kind of crazy. Look at how deep it is, right? It's so deep. Let's take that down, right? Let's take this down to 5. There we go. So this is more along the idea of what I want to do. And I can freeform rotate it by grabbing the middle. So this is what I want to be able to do to control the wings. I might want them at more of an angle like this, right? And I wanted a little bit of a bevel because I thought that would be cool. A little bit of a depth for the edge of the wings just to sell it a little bit better, okay? Andrew, what's up? Good to have you here, my friend. Awesome. So we got that. Yeah, sure. I could always go in, probably change that from a gray to something else, honestly. Maybe even a radial gradient. Wait for it. There we go. We want something like that. I'm really pushing it to its limits. It seems like it's kind kind of pixelating this a little bit. There we go. So anyways, there's my butterfly wings. We need to do the body. Let's do the body really fast. I'll jump in. Anytime I draw something, it still has that same 3D setting, by the way. So I'm just going to reduce to basic appearance. We'll delete that. We're just going to make the body really fast. And actually what I'm going to do for the body, again, we're in the symmetry mode. We could do something like this, right? Still doesn't have a lot of depth. What I'm thinking for the body is right over here, we'll inflate it, right? So we'll hit inflate, and now we have that. It makes it more spherical, which I'm totally into, right? And I'd probably want to do the same for the little like antennae as they go out like so. There we go. See how this is nice, like a tube, if you will, right? It has depth. Let's just cap this. Let's just go in here. Let's reverse this gradient. Like so, something like that. But again, really cool that I just added a little bit of this inflate to give it the depth that I want, right? So again, super easy. Jump in here. Let's go ahead and do that right here. Bam. There we have like the ends as well, and we have sort of like our little butterfly. You know, I could probably change this a little bit more. Remember, this has a gradient to it. You could always change that gradient like I kind of want to right now, by the way, because I think it's just way too bright. So bear with me. Honestly, it'd probably be a color. It wouldn't even be gray. It would probably be more of a brown, kind of sells it a little bit better, like that. Does it? Something. Boom. Up. Ah. Ta. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. So again, all I'm doing is darkening this up. So hopefully that makes sense. By the way, another way to make this darker, I can always add a color stop in the middle, get rid of this one on the end, and then push this to the end. And now I have it going from a medium gray to a black, and that makes it just like look a little bit better. But so far, that's pretty good. I have that all like set up like so. And I can make a bunch of these. Cool, you guys like it? You guys into it? Let's just grab this. Remember, this is still using symmetry, which is great. I could take this to the next level. Let's cut out this one and just go on a new layer. Paste it. Wait for it. There it is. And then like have some fun with this again. Because just because this has this sort of mirror repeat, I can repeat it some more as well. So I can go back into the repeats. Instead of doing a mirror repeat, I could do a radial repeat, right? So there we are, radial repeating all these like butterflies as they start to fly around as you'd expect. So again, pretty cool. I want more, I want less. You get the idea. Cool. Super fun to work this way, right? Easy enough. I kind of want to do something else really fast. You ready for this? So we've done our symmetry. I'm going to paste in another butterfly right in here. I might have to modify it a little bit more, and I'll show you why in a second. I'm just going to take this. We will just select it. We will expand appearance like so. Ungroup. Oh, I got a lot going on here. I'm going to do something else really fast. Because my plan was to actually make... let's try this. We want to scatter a ton of these around because we don't want that perfect symmetry. We want butterflies kind of going all over the place. We could do this a couple different ways. We could take this butterfly, right? We could drop it into our symbols right in here. Bam, there it is. There's our butterfly. And then we can use our symbol sprayer to do everything that we need to do. So that would be right over here. We have our symbol sprayer tool, like so. We'll select the symbol, and then we'll paint, and we can see all these butterflies, right? That's what the symbol sprayer does, puts them everywhere, right? Doesn't make them that random, because from there you want to start pushing and shifting things around. But ultimately what we want to do is we want to make it look just straight up random. So that's my goal now, right? So this is using the symbol sprayer. And again, if you're just joining me, it's all based on this tweet right here from Simone. Saw this video on TikTok for character design, drawing in symmetry mode, basically, to save time. And we are taking things, you ready for this? Drawing in symmetry mode to save time. We're going to take this to the next level by not only drawing things in symmetry mode, but duplicating and making many different versions out of one object. And really out of only one wing, which I think is really impressive. All right, going back in here. Thanks for joining me as well. Shireen, how you do? How you doing? Would you please save this live? I would love to. Let me hit the save button. Boop. Boom. All right, it is saved because you come back to this URL. This is going to be on demand for you, so no problem there. Let's take this butterfly, in fact. Here's one I made. We'll do a couple of these, okay? It's made the same way, maybe a little bit simpler. We'll take this one. We're going to shift the colors. Let me go ahead and expand. All right, we're going to try this. We're going to go into our brushes. We're going to take this. We're going to drop it in there. We're going to make this a scatter brush. Okay, that cannot be used. All right, I know what's happening. Give me 1 second. Let's go in here. We're going to duplicate this one more time. Again, bear with me. And we will see what's going on here, people. Because to turn this into a scatter brush, it needs to be like a pretty darn basic shape, right? It's because it has all this 3D stuff and it's all kinds of crazy. It's not going to know how to bend those lines, right? So that's why we'll just jump in here. Take this. We'll just get rid of that. We'll move this over. We'll give it a little bit of a body really fast. Wait for it. There's the body. Here's the little, I don't know. Is it an antenna? Is that what we would call it? But there we go. There we have our butterfly. Bingo. Drawing in symmetry mode. Now let's take this to the next level. We have this one done. Let's duplicate it. Let's expand. There we go. Let's drop it into our brushes panel. And it's still saying the same thing. Wait for it. Here it is. Ready? Scatter brush. Does not like me. One more time. And let's take a look at the inside of this. So the thing is there could be clipping groups in here that are prohibiting it from being a scatter brush. But it actually looks okay. Like there's nothing wrong with this, right? Everything looks good. Oh, you know what it is? I figured it out. I just saw it right in here. Apologies, right down here. These lovely little gradients right in here. Yeah, I got to get rid of that. So bear with me. That's what it is. Sorry about that, everyone. These gradients For a scatter brush, you cannot have gradients, so that's the issue. There we go. Let's make this something else. There we go. Figured it out. Wait for it. Let's flip it. Okay. Oh, the trials. There we go. We got it. Now let's do this for the last time. I'm going to drop this in here. The only reason we had to do that is because we needed to make a scatter brush. In order to make a scatter brush, you do have to have, you can't have gradients in it because it can't bend gradients. And we're going to be bending these around a lot, just so you know. So I thought it was a clipping mask. I thought it was other things. I thought it was the 3D. It was the fact that there was a blend in there. But once you've done that, you could go ahead and jump in here and say, you know what? Let's make everything random. We're going to give this some pure chaos. The chaos butterfly brush. We're going to have this go. It's going to be smaller, so we'll do 0 to say 50%. Adjust the spacing as well. And you're not going to know what a lot of these are, by the way. You're going to kind of adjust these sliders. You're not going to be able to tell what's going on because you don't see it in action. So I usually mess with this. I'll click OK, right? And then I'll go out here and I will just draw a line. Zip, zip. There's our line. Let's take this line, get rid of the fill. But for this line, we'll click, and here's my scatter brush. So now that we could see it, right, we can now double click on that scatter brush and watch it kind of change more in real time. So I want, say, more scattering or less scattering. We want to tighten up the spacing, right? That's what I'm doing here, is just tightening up that spacing. But we actually see it working much better. The scattering as well. We want to keep that more toward the line is what I'm doing here. Keeping it more toward the line, we could see it scatter like so. Cool. So hopefully that makes sense, right? We have all these brushes. We'll click OK. Apply to strokes. Awesome. And what we could do from here, you ready for this? Let's duplicate this. I just love brushes. So let's take this second one, and what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of it. So we're going to go in, and we're going to pick that pink color. So that's the color that's going to change. We'll do tints and shades. We'll click OK. We'll apply to strokes. And now we'll change the color of this line to green. And now you can see what we have here is we have like green butterflies. I'm not crazy about the tints and shades, so we'll just go into tints, for instance, and preview it. And lastly, let's go into hue shift and click OK. There we go. Hue shift is what we want. You guys seeing that? I'm sorry, that's kind of small, but yeah, now I can have this second brush create more butterflies with different colors, as you can see right in here. So I can make any variation that I want based on that one brush. So let's throw this away. Don't need that anymore. And now I can go crazy, as you'd expect. Let's make this one yellow. Bam. So yeah, there we go. Just covering my document in different types of butterflies. So pick the color, changes the butterflies. Pick the color, changes the color of the butterflies. You get the idea. Cool? Is this fun or is this fun? It's crazy. Jamie, you into it? One thing is like all these butterflies, again, could have more of an angle. So we could go back to our original butterfly right in here. And again, still using 3D, we could make this really awesome, right? For this butterfly, we can use 3D materials and we could extrude it, right? That give it a little bit of a bevel, or we could even do a plane. So now, based on this plane, I'm able to angle this butterfly like so for that wing. And then for this one, again, I could add a plane there and then kind of bring it this way, kind of making each one maybe a little bit different. but this could be a different butterfly. So here could be one. Zoop. Move this down, make another one, right? And all I'm doing is just adjusting the plane here, like so. Ooh, I'm really into this. Oh, this is much better. Like that. Kind of like that. Same thing for the body. You ready for this? Right, this starts to get maybe a little bit more realistic. The body is not that realistic right now, is it? No, it's not. You guys are like, fix it. Make it better, Paul. Let's make it better. And thank you so much for joining me today. This is Internet Inspired, where we just take things from the internet and we just do our own little creative spin. So, what do I have here? I have this sort of shape. Couple things we could do to this. Let's do this. You ready for this? You ready for this? We're going to cut this in half. We're going to take this shape, and just so we could see it a little bit better, let's make it just a different color. We'll just drop it into this nice little gray. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to revolve. So this is the third one. We're going to revolve it. We'll revolve it around the right edge. Boom. There we are. Right? And we changed the lighting, but now we can do the same thing with the body. So I'll bring this down here. Right? We want to give this an angle as well. Let's take this, and now we can rotate it, say this direction, like that. And I could do the same thing again for the wings, rotate it accordingly. Right? And again, that's not the right color, but we could start to get the angles squared away. As you can see. Something kind of like that. Anyways, just to show you the different angles that you could put on this. But honestly, what I would do, you ready for this? I would get rid of this. Actually, let's do this. Let's take this. Because the thing is, we should be able to get these at the same angle. So I revolved this. We're going to change this to off. Let's do isometric left. No. Let's do off-axis bottom. We're going to select this. We're going to do off-axis bottom. Boom. Now they're both sort of on the same plane, if you will. So we'll take this one as well, make this off-axis bottom. Boom. And now it's like laying flat, right? So from there, and again, I'll put this right there. Maybe I could adjust the rotation of it. So we can kind of rotate it this way. So I have the angle right, and then I'm just rotating the wing, like so. So basically I made this in 3D, and you can see me kind of simulate it. Let's move that back there. All right, like that. Kind of an extreme angle, but you get the idea. Cool. Yeah, it's more realistic. Yeah, it's looking better. This is still a weird tube, but the nice thing is these are all still vector shapes, and that's why I love Illustrator. It's like, hey, I want to make them look a little thinner, and we don't want to. We kind of want to make them be thinner on the, sort of the tail end, and then thicker where the head is, and that's all I'm doing is changing the shape of this butterfly to be something more like that. Kind of looks more like a dragonfly. But again, just getting those angles all squared away. And by the way, even changing the color if we want to as well. So as I change this to black, you know, even this really needs to be black. So let's select that. Let's make that black. Bam. There we are. This one, yeah, let's do the same thing. Black. So yeah, a little bit more realistic, but all I'm doing is having some fun. You guys get the idea. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to be like working on this for a bit. So I would even like to give it this shading. Like so. We'll rotate it. Like that. See what we're getting right there? Like, look at that. This is even more realistic. And I feel like it's easier to angle things in 3D rather than me to draw this flat would be really tough. So Is it possible to remove the anchor point or move the anchor point? Chris asks. No, I really wish we could. Yeah, that needs to be a feature request straight up. Like seriously, I want to be able to move that anchor position right to the center, and that's a great idea. I agree. You could hack it, but that's a great point there. And I want the exact same thing. Alrighty. Wait for it. Maybe that's a little much, but we need to get his little feelers or whatever in there as well. So I don't know, something like that. You get the idea. So a lot we could do. Hopefully you're into it. I appreciate you guys as like hanging out with me. But again, getting this perspective, this was me trying to do it earlier. Didn't work out too well. Let's delete it. This has turned out a lot better. Getting me the angles that I want. And again, all that's still editable. And I can swap out those wings anytime I want. From there, I would have to sort of expand appearance and then turn that into a brush as well. But I'd have to also get rid of the gradients. And that's what we noticed earlier was an issue. But who doesn't love this, huh? I didn't even play with the size much, but this is like fantastic. So anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll probably play with this a little bit longer. So, you know, keep me in mind on the social medias as I try to throw something together to post to Instagram. So thank you so much. I thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me for Internet Inspired. We take something from the interwebs and do our fun creative spin with it. Let's keep in touch. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.